Hey, what's up, Dexter? How's it going, bro?
Hi, Ralph. Happy Saturday, brother.
Happy Saturday to you, bro. And we're moving right along on the calendar, bro, man. What is this, January? What is today?
I think it's January 18th. And
Wow.
I cannot believe that it is January 18th because I swear I just wished someone a happy new year the other day, right?
Yeah.
It's like I feel like, first of all, I can't even do that anymore, right? Because it's way past the new year. But it's like, wow, it's 18 days already. And the older we get, the faster time flies. It is not my imagination. It
No,
really
it's
is.
not.
I know it has nothing to do with time in and of itself, right? Scientifically
All right.
speaking, just mentally.
I know. I have this half joke, half truth about it that, the older we get, the faster time really does go, and life does not come with a brake pedal. I mean, I keep looking for it, and I'm rolling downhill, and there's the cliff.
You feel like that game where you just everything finally like falls off.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, time is definitely flying. And the older I kind of, and I'm not the only one that feels that way. Obviously, you do, and a couple of other people that I've talked to
Oh,
about this
sure.
feel the same
Yeah.
way. So, for everybody out there listening, this is, take heed, enjoy life, and do as much as you can to enjoy it because before you know it, you've got gray hairs and gray mustaches
Let's not
and
kid
no
ourselves.
brake pedal.
I know, Braveheart. We weren't born this way, right? I mean, we went through everything just like everyone else did, right? But
Yeah,
and you never imagine when you're younger, that I'm ever going to be this age, right? Because when you're young, you're indestructible. You're young.
that's right.
Everything is in front of you. But as you get older, you're like, wow, I never would have imagined being this old,
And here we
and
are.
and here we are, and grateful, to be honest,
Oh, yeah,
grateful.
yeah, 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 yeah. I
Absolutely, absolutely grateful. So, what do we? I know we made a promise to our listeners that we were going to start with their questions
Yes,
and subjects. And actually, this is a good opportunity for us to talk about it because I know that Ralph and I were talking about, what is it that we can do to engage our listeners into the conversation. And every once in a while, what we want to do is we want the audience to, we don't care what the question is. We don't
right.
care what you want to talk about. We don't care whether it's politics, religion, sex, family. We don't care. Let's just talk.
Yeah,
If you want to have a differing opinion, right, on what is it that you may be interested or going on in your life or
sure,
whatever that may be, let us know. I'd
sure.
love to talk about it so long as it's not too personal and it will always respect everyone's obviously wishes and confidence.
Exactly. Exactly. No, that's great points. And even before that, let's predicate this whole thing by saying again, thank you very much for watching, and please feel free to click on like and subscribe, leave the comments and share. Again, that's just going to help our channel grow and keep us two old goats around for a little while longer.
Yes,
Because,
please keep us alive.
because, yeah, the cliff is getting closer.
Wait, is that Mr. Death? I was watching a Clint Eastwood movie the other day called Pale Rider, which I actually think is one of his best.
It's a great Western. Excuse me. Yeah.
It's a great western. And the story behind it is that he comes into town, he saves like this town basically, and the townspeople in it from this evil land baron who wants to just take it over. But within the movie itself, it quotes the Bible: "Death comes upon a pale horse," and
Mm,
he rides in on a pale horse.
how
And
about
of
that?
course, just like that, it's like Dirty Harry in the West. He just takes
Hmm.
out everybody.
And you see, people, when we say things like we don't stay on topic, this is a really good example. We have
So
talking points, and we're talking about westerns.
we are so undisciplined. I'll tell you, why don't we jump right into the questions
Let's
for
get a
this
couple
week?
of questions in here real quick. And again, thank you to everybody for subscribing and for watching. So the first one is, and actually this one actually speaks exactly to what we were talking about. Is your
Oh,
point was how do we engage and how do we get everybody more involved and what is it that you guys want? Well, on the heels of that, here's the question: when are you guys starting to do the giveaways?
oh, look at
So
that.
Yeah. So, obviously the audience remembers that I don't know which episode it was, the third or the fourth, something like that, where we started, mentioning the giveaways. And thank you for that question. I'm obviously fielding the question. I guess Dexter and I, we have to go ahead, probably much sooner than later, go ahead and come up with a format. And he and I will come up with, I guess, something. And it is my intent, our intent, that by the end of the month, have the first giveaway. And then routinely
Each
provide.
month, right?
Yeah,
We'll give
yeah,
away
yeah, yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yeah,
So, a little thank you gift for everybody out there. Or one somebody out there every month.
that please, we would be
Yeah,
more than happy to give you our
that's
thoughts on
why
that.
we're here. We're here to talk, and if we can get a good laugh out of it, then we will.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
with each
So,
other though, not with you, obviously, with the audience,
yeah,
no, with each
no,
other, right?
yeah.
Because we can't help ourselves because
Yeah,
we're children
I
at
know.
heart.
It's just, yeah. If it's not our friendship, it's senility.
That too.
All right. Question number two. And I don't know, it's actually more of a comment. So, Dexter, go ahead, please address this. And we can both actually. So, it says, your show has grown really, really nicely. Keep up the good work. And basically, thank you for everything you've done.
Awesome.
And yeah. So, please.
Yeah, we love that. Like I said, man, interaction is the way for us to grow. This is not about, we're not here to do anything other than to conversate amongst ourselves and talk about a varying array of subjects, right? So there is no judgment on this channel. There is no critique on this channel. We're always going to give our best advice, per the lives that we have lived, right? So it's that plays a huge role in it. And we're going to be sensitive to whatever it is that you ask us about. And we
Yes.
just want to make sure that we're doing the right thing by our audience, right? Because
Right.
this is not about us. This is not about us. Yes, it's about us because we get to see each other and talk to each other.
Mhm.
But it's really just about you, right? That's the only way that we're going to grow is if all of us are doing it together.
Exactly. So keep the questions and the comments coming, and I really enjoy reading them and commenting. I really enjoy it. So on that note, and let's just get on with a couple of topics. Number one is, look, I don't know where you guys are, viewing from, but here in the Northeast, it's kind of cold, and we've got
It's
a,
cold.
whoo, man, is it cold? And we've got something coming. We've got a cold front coming from Canada, that is going to be brutal. I mean, I'm looking at the temperatures that are coming up for Sunday night, tomorrow night, and it's going to be with us, I think, most of the week. We're going to be single digits, and that's without the winds. And so, honestly, it's cold enough as it is, but what I'm seeing last night, it literally caused me to go out to Amazon and buy brand new winter gear. I mean, seriously, it did. I was like, oh,
This,
hell no.
this old coat, this is not keeping me warm. You know,
These gloves, screw these gloves.
screw
So
these gloves.
So yeah, again, single digits at night, and it literally has gotten. It's going to be so cold that we've canceled night work for this week. As far as professionally speaking, and what I
Mm.
do through the engineering side, we're staying on day shift. Not that it's going to be a whole lot warmer, but that's how cold it's going to be that we've canceled work at night. So
Well, you don't want to be
yeah,
working at night, have it be cold, can't see anything, right? It's just like it's just brutal combination, right?
it
It's like
really
no,
is. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
there, how cold is it? Oh, let me tell you how cold it is. Politicians were seen with their hands in their own pockets.
Oh my God, that's a dad joke if I ever
I know,
heard one.
right?
That's horrible.
Somebody give me the old.
That's a terrible dad joke.
Oh my
But
God,
it's,
man!
but it's like, but actually they are. They didn't they say they were going to bring the inauguration?
Yeah,
Didn't they say they were going to
it is
bring
indoors.
that indoors now,
Yeah,
right? Because
yeah,
the
yeah,
temperature is too cold, right?
yeah.
To do
It
that.
is,
Yeah,
and
we don't
not
know
for.
how Donald's orange skin will react,
Yeah,
in 20-degree temperature.
right. And not for nothing. And look, I'm not going to make too much light of this, but for his sake, it might actually be better to be indoors because there's
I
a
know.
whole.
Let's protect this man before he ever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
look,
yeah.
not that we're gonna deviate from the subject, but look, his day is what, 2 days away, 3 days away.
I think Monday. Yeah,
Monday, yeah, the same day as Martin Luther King's
yeah,
holiday.
yeah.
And I'm at the point right now where let's give him an opportunity to see what's going to happen.
Sure.
I am
Sure.
not going to continue to just berate him without seeing what the results are, right?
Right.
I'm going to hold off on that.
Right.
And because I think that's the right thing to do, right?
Sure.
Let's
Sure.
just wait to
Sure.
hold judgment. I'm not going to hate him yet, but let's see what
Right.
he
Right.
does.
He's got to earn it.
He's got to earn my hate.
Yeah. So now you see, now this is interesting because I'm on the other end of the spectrum, and yet we still end up in the middle. Whereas I am right of center. I'm much more of a conservative. I am not going to go into this automatically thinking, yay, because to me, he's also got to earn, not just him, but his whole administration. He's got to earn our
Trust,
celebration, our
our
trust.
trust.
You know what I mean? So even though I'll be honest, I am glad that he won. I am, because 4 years of, you know what? Let's just forget about those last 4 years. I'm glad that he won and he is in. But that doesn't mean I'm automatically sizing for a Super Bowl ring. And I don't think, you know what I mean? We'll see. We'll
Well,
see.
he's
And I hope,
already, again,
yeah,
there's a lot of, we're going to see what the truth is, right?
yeah,
He's already walked back a couple of,
yeah,
situations, right? When it comes to inflation, right? When he'll say, and when it comes to the war in the Ukraine, yes, I'll end that war in 24 hours.
we'll see.
We'll
We'll
see
see.
about that.
Yeah.
And with grocery prices, he already admitted that it's not as easy as he thinks to
Mhm.
roll. Being on the campaign trail with that man, you have to understand the reality is you can only believe half of what he, and that's not
Yeah.
just him, that's all
Yeah.
politicians,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you believe half of what they say and you're okay with believing half of what they say, then you won't be disappointed, right?
Right. 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 Right.
But
But so yeah, we all have to just stand pat and just wait and see what happens, because really, honestly, with any politician will say what they think we want to hear in order to get the vote. It's how they perform at the end of the day that matters.
well, it's like anything
So
else. It's like
yeah,
anything else. It's like any
yeah, yeah,
job. You could talk your way. You could talk your way to the job or
yeah,
into the job, but you still
yeah.
have to execute at the job,
That's
right?
right.
So
That's right.
yeah.
Yeah, time to
So it's
get
going
off
to
the.
be really cold, and it's going to be his reminder. I hope his tan holds up throughout the inauguration. He's going to need it. No, let me stop. It's too soon. Too
That's
soon.
that's too
But
soon.
we'll see.
Oh my god.
What do we else we got, brother? What
But
else you want to talk about?
yeah, no, no, no. We can. I wanted to not to berate this and not to stay on it, but the LA fires. A couple of things that
Mm,
have popped up since. Number one, the fires are still raging. There's not as much coverage as there was last week. I don't
sure.
know that they've gotten a whole lot more control of those fires. It kind of doesn't look like they've gotten control of any of it. And that's not necessarily what I wanted to discuss as much as Gavin Newsom's reaction. I don't know whether you saw his reaction. There was some press conference or an interview, and he actually looked giddy in this conversation. They asked him about that, and he was actually giddy about the possibility of rebuilding
All that
Los Angeles.
opportunity and that pride and spirit that comes from not just hosting those three iconic games and venues, but also the opportunity, I think, to rebuild at the same time. And that's why we're already organizing a Marshall Plan. We already have a team of looking and
Los Angeles 2.0, and because it's set to be a smart city for 2028 and the Olympics are coming.
Hmm.
And it's one thing to be looking forward to that kind of stuff and to be happy that the smart city goal is there and that the Olympics are coming. That's one thing. But I mean, he was actually like dancing around a little bit, and meanwhile, people's houses are still burning. And that kind of struck me, I don't know, just bad taste, because, and I think that might actually be sort of like exemplary of his leadership, that he's hiring people for outrageous salaries positions that are not performing. And I think this is just another example of the failure of their politics, not because they are liberal, because they have failed. Period. And
Yeah, I mean, I think you could say that about everybody's politics, right?
yes,
They're gonna, they're going to. It all depends on how he's looking at it, right? Is he looking at it as, is he being insensitive to the people that are undergoing or are going through what's happening right now?
yeah,
Maybe, but maybe he's looking at it and he's saying, okay, let me say, we will rebuild. Let's have a positive note. Let's not, it all be dread. I know we're going through a lot right now, but this is what I envision could rise from these ashes, right? I think he
literally.
needs to leave a little bit more time, but I think also in his in his mind, he's thinking, okay, this is an opportunity to learn, right?
Sure.
Grow from this, change, right?
Has to.
Not
He has
everybody
to.
has to. Not everybody. Look, I like him? I think he's a little too liberal for me. I think he's a very bright man, very well spoken. He's a
Yes.
really good orator, and I think he has some really good policies. But again, I fall more to the moderate, right? I'm neither liberal nor conservative, so I have a tendency not
It's
to
a good
always
way to
agree
be.
with that. But I think people will always have something to say about Joe Biden, President Trump, President Biden, right? They're
Sure.
always going to have something to say. It's if you really want to have an impact, in my mind, an immediate impact as the governor of California, let's get these insurance companies,
Mm,
right, that are all of a sudden not offering,
that's right.
right,
They're leaving.
insurance
Yeah.
in those homes. They're leaving. They're out of there.
Yeah.
And they're not offering insurance for these homes where are ravaged by these fires, and
I read
these poor people are
somewhere.
just out of it.
Yeah, I read somewhere, and there's probably a lot of truth to this. Is there a lot of people in the Palisades Park, whatever they call their area, the Palisades Park region? A lot of those in their $1 million homes didn't have fire insurance because number
Because
one, they never thought they would
they
have
could get that
fires,
bad, right?
and number
Right,
two,
right.
they probably couldn't afford it. So there
You
were
know,
a lot of people that didn't even have the insurance, and now it's all gone.
and I would. It's that's also part of the issue when you build homes in these mountains, right? That you
Yes.
can't get to easily. It may or may not present itself as an issue, right,
Yeah.
in the future. We don't know,
Right.
but that's the risk that you take. I actually just to add to that. I
Mhm.
forget where I saw it, and I think it was a business newspaper. I think it was Financial Business Weekly. It was on the iPad. I was looking at it. They actually had a superimposed map of the Palisades fire and the Eaton fire
Yeah.
at the same time in terms of the acreage that it took. So if you punched in your zip code, you could see the amount of land that was taken. When I punched in my zip code, which is 11375, which is Queens, the amount of acreage on the overlay went from Long Island City, which is
Mm,
in lower Queens, right, almost to Manhattan, all the way out to Valley Stream, meaning it would take all of Queens with it,
hmm
and Valley Stream, which is just entering Nassau County in Long Island, New York,
mm,
right? Could you imagine? New York has the largest population in New York City outside of Manhattan,
hmm
right? And it's millions of people, millions,
Yes.
in a
Yes.
densely populated neighborhood. Could you imagine what that kind of fire would have done to New York? It's just
It's
when you think about that, and I saw that overlay, I was like, oh my God.
that's when it hits them because it's one thing to be way out removed from that scenario and going, oh, poor people, whatever, whatever. But when you sort of like personalize it, when you compare it to yourself and your area and your zones, yeah, I think I made the comment last episode where one fire, and we might be talking about the same one, is the size of Manhattan. I mean, for people who don't understand, look that up. The Manhattan is not a tiny little island.
Well, it's 27 miles long, right? But it's
Yes, yeah,
nonetheless,
and
it has millions of people in it.
that's
Could you
one
imagine?
fire.
Yes.
That's one fire. And so, yeah, and again, the crazy part is, the insane part is that those fires are still raging.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what they need is rain. That's what they need because they sure as heck, what they're doing right now, I mean, I'm sure it's helping, but it's not controlling it. And so
Yeah.
I don't want to get back onto the failed politics of that government, but when they literally drained the fire department budget by, I think it was like $17.5 million, they literally drained a water reservoir that was designed to flow water to certain regions, and then the water pressure at sewage lines and water lines and fire hydrants were literally gone. There was no water pressure after a couple of minutes of water.
Mm.
That's just tragic what's going on over there. And
Well,
again, the
it's a lot of
fires are
things are
still
tragic.
going. Yeah, the
So
fires are
fires are
still
still going.
raging. The winds are still raging. I, I, I think I read where it was at least another week with those winds are expected.
Right, with the winds are expected, right. But you know
That's
what?
just
There's a lot of things that went wrong there. Now it's time to make things right?
yes,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
understand the president said that he was gonna, President Biden said that he was going to have FEMA pay for the first 6 months or whatever that is in terms of being able to help people in the state of California. And,
They need it.
it's just, look, as tragic as that situation is, it allows you to learn, right? What not to do the next time. And I'm
It's
glad that
sure.
they're going to take a look at it. Where
That's
did
right.
you go wrong,
Yeah.
right?
You either
And
conform or you're cast out. It's
or
that
your cousin.
simple.
Yeah. And
And
hopefully the leadership there in California and the new leadership that's coming in will take a look at that and say, what could we have done better? What could we have changed? What strategy that we'd use that would just blew up in our faces? Oh God, that's a horrible thing to say, but
but it is true.
but it just,
It applies.
didn't work. It didn't work.
Yeah. Right.
And
And not only that, but I hope they learn from this
sure,
as well.
surrounding states, sure, surrounding
Because
states.
this is a hard lesson to learn. God, this is a hard lesson. And I just hope that everybody looks at that and adjusts accordingly, because Los Angeles is but one community that is affected. If governments don't change their ways and don't become more proactive, then this could happen in their communities and in their
Sure.
states.
Sure.
So, oof,
It's always something like that. But we're not going to end this session on
nope.
something so what we're going to do is we're going to continue to talk about that. If it's something you want to talk about as an audience, just please let us know. It's just something that's very passionate to Ralph and I.
Yes.
But if you please, this is a great time to remind everyone, please let us know your thoughts. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I would love to talk about someone else other than
Right.
ourselves. I get so bored talking about myself, and
Yeah, yeah,
so we
yeah,
don't
yeah,
want
yeah.
to do it.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot interesting about me either. Outside of I can't find the brake pedal.
You're out of your mind.
I've heard that.
That's it. All right, everybody. I guess we'll
So,
see you on that. Oh, by the way,
yeah,
we
yeah.
want to thank everyone because this is our ninth episode, right? Including
Yes.
not including the Christmas episode. We're almost up to 10. That is amazing. So I'm actually really happy about that.
Yeah, me too.
Really
Really, I
happy.
want to
Yeah.
thank everybody for that.
Everyone have a great week. We'll see you
All
soon.
right, but all right, stay warm, guys, out here and in California. Please just be careful out there, and everybody just keep everybody in our prayers, and let's just all help each other and go forward. And I look forward to seeing you again soon, Dexter. Hopefully next Saturday we can make time in episode
Yeah.
10.
Sounds good, buddy.
All right,
We'll
bro.
talk
Have a
later.
great rest of the weekend, man. Take care.
You too. Take
All
care,
right, bro.
everyone.
Hang in there.